Hey guys, so today we're going to preview negative numbers by talking about additive inverse. So let's go through with some notes. Just fill in the blank spots on your notes page. The first one, number lines move from least to greatest. I know that if I have a number line, 0 is in the middle, my numbers to the right are larger than 0, the numbers to the left are smaller. So if I go from left to right, the numbers are going from small to big. I add on number lines by moving right because the number is getting larger. So let's say I had 1, and I add 1 to it. Now I'm at 2. So the number is getting larger. Subtract on the number lines by moving left because the number is getting smaller. Make sure that's in your notes. Lastly, the sum of opposite numbers is 0. So an example of an opposite number, if I just had the number 6, the opposite of 6 is negative 6. If I put those together, I'll get 0. We talked about that a little bit in class today. So let's look at our first example. Let's say I had 7 plus negative 7. Well, I know that if I have a number line, I'm starting at 7. And because of my negative is telling me to go left. So I'm going to start at 7, and I'm going to move 7 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've landed at 0. So the sum of these opposite numbers is 0. Let's do another one with a number line. Let's say I had negative 5 plus 5. Again, these are opposites. I have a negative and a positive. Draw my number line. I'm starting off at negative 5. And I know because I'm adding a positive, I'm going 5 spaces to the right. So start off at negative 5. Count 5 spaces to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So negative 5 plus a positive 5 is 0. Think about it this way. If I owe Arthur $5, that number is negative. If I then pay him back $5, I now owe him 0. Let's do one more. Okay, I know that your paper says negative 6 plus 6, but let's do negative a half plus a half. So again, if I have my number line, we'll just say negative a half is right here. I'm going to start off at negative a half, okay? And now I'm going to add a positive half to it. So I know I'm adding, so I'm going to the right. So I'm going 1 space to the right, and now I'm at 0. So if I had half a cake, then I ate half a cake, I now have 0. Flip your page and look at the back. We're going to do some word problems. Then you'll practice. All right, guys, let's look at this word problem. Michael and Joseph are good friends who meet every 2 weeks to trade cards. Last week, Michael traded Joseph 50 cards for $6. This week, Joseph traded Michael 30 cards and paid him $6. So how much money Michael has on a number line? Well, I know that I'm interested in dollars. So if Michael traded Joseph $5 for 50 cards for $6, that means that he just made $6. So I know that 6 is going to be positive. Likewise, when Joseph traded Michael 30 cards and Michael paid him $6, that means that number is going to be negative. So he made $6 and then he gave away $6. So he's left with 0. Let's show that on a number line. Again, I start off with 6. And I know because I am adding a negative, I am moving to the left. So I'm going to move to the left 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm at 0. Again, I had $6 and I gave away $6, so now I have $0. Let's do one more, then you'll practice. All right, guys, one last one. The temperature in my home room was negative 6 degrees when I woke up. The sky was dark and full of clouds. I'm sorry, that should say hometown. However, at about 10:30 a.m., the sun started to pop out. With the warm heat, the temperature rose 6 degrees. What is the current temperature? Use a number line to represent it. Well, I know that I started out at negative 6 degrees, so I know that's my starting point. I know that the temperature rose 6 degrees. And rise means to increase, so I know that that number has to be positive. So again, I have two opposites. I have negative 6 plus a positive 6. That's going to leave me with 0. Think about it like money. I owe you $6. I pay you back $6. I now owe you $0. Let's show it on a number line. I know that I'm starting at negative 6. Since I'm adding a positive 6, I know I'm moving to the right 6 spaces. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm left with 0. All right, guys. This should be super, super easy. Let's practice.